Here's a little disclaimer that I am the person that I'm talking about in this context, and I work with this person that I'm talking about every day, every single day. I work with somebody that is this demographic, which is, you believe something's wrong with you, right? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I make it stop? What is wrong with me? When, especially in the beginning of working with some people, when they'll say, something is wrong with me. And if I reflect to them, no, actually, given the circumstances, given your life experience, given your ways of being taught to relate, nothing is wrong with you. You're actually doing everything right in that program that you were raised in. We just have to adapt a new program or adopt a new program. And the consensus then always comes down to this like moment where they go, no, something really is wrong with me. And I won't be told otherwise. Right? And this is me also. And to have somebody, it's like going to the doctor and having them say, nope, I mean, I know you feel pain and you're sick, but like, doesn't matter. Like, no, there's nothing actually wrong with you. And then you feel crazy, right? But the thing is, and this is what I want to point out about this kind of person who thinks something is wrong with me. And when somebody reflects to them like, no, you're actually normal. Like this, given the circumstances, this is actually normal. They will say no. They will defend their weakness with utmost strength, right? People who have been systematically taught to believe that everything is their fault will conjure up the will to have an allegiance to that story, that they are weak, that there is something wrong with them. They will, with utmost strength, come to attention and say, no, they were right. Even though like I'm like this because of them, theoretically, they were right. Something is fundamentally wrong with me that's never going to be fixed. I'm never going to get this right. Relationally speaking, people who actually have something fundamentally wrong with them will only ever blame others and think that there's something wrong with other people, right? Like, you know, that person who's like, everybody else is wrong about everything and I'm right about everything and my way of living is the correct way and other people are wrong. There's something wrong with everybody on the planet but me. Relationally speaking, somebody who's actually got something wrong with them, and I don't want to say wrong, but it's not a healthy, growthful way of living, they're going to be the people saying something else is wrong with everybody else. But here you are blaming yourself for everybody else's, what's wrong with everybody else and what's wrong with yourself, right? You're thinking that because if you could just be different, everybody else would be different. If you could be kinder, if you could talk better, if you would relate differently, then something would change, because it's kind of your fault that this is happening because you've been taught to believe that something is wrong with you. So I want to make this simple, short, and sweet, which is to say, I notice people every day conjure up the will to defend that allegiance. If I reflect to them, there's actually nothing wrong with you. And they will immediately create motivation that they didn't have a second before. A second before they were like on the floor, victimized. No, you don't get it. Something's wrong with me. And then I say, no, actually, nothing's wrong with you. Yes, there is, right? And they come to attention because that's their way of knowing how to relate with people. Is I will defend this position because if I drop the story that there's something wrong with me, something bad's going to happen. So I want you to sit with that, right? If you drop the story that you were defective, what are you afraid of? What would happen? Who would you lose in your life? What would you go do in your life? How would it change the inner space of your mind to drop the story that there's something wrong with you? Because in the moment of defense and motivated fire that comes out, when you reflect to somebody, this is just normal. Like, it can change, and it's actually normal, and there's nothing wrong with you. If you can use that motivation to defend your own strength instead of defend your weakness in allegiance to their story that they programmed in you, your life's going to change forever. So if you can use that momentum, that strength that you will defend, no, there's something really wrong with me. Like, I feel it in every part of my body. I get it. And I also get that that's a story that we're afraid to drop. That I work with people every day who are afraid to drop that story because it goes against the program. And going against the program is, gets you ostracized. There's a subconscious allegiance to that program that we will stay stuck in our entire lives if we don't start defending our strength more than our weakness. Okay? I hope this makes sense. And if you dig the content, please go check out Earn Your Luck, a field guide for living beyond your narcissistic parents' wildest dreams, because a lot of what I'm talking about in here is a lot of what I talk about in there, just in different ways and more expanded. All right, have a great day. If you like my content, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.